All right, good morning, everyone, and welcome back. I've got the team of doctors here, the allergy experts. We're going to go through some myths, kind of true or false, fact or fiction, some of the myths out there, because there are a lot of myths out there when it comes to allergies. Let's go ahead now and take a look at the first one. It's the yellow pine pollen that we see everywhere in the spring that causes the worst allergic reactions. True or false?
So that's actually false. Pine pollen is not responsible for allergy symptoms. It's actually the microscopic pollen that you can't see that's responsible for allergy symptoms.
See, everyone thinks when it rains yellow here in Atlanta, you see all that really thick yellow dusting over all the cars. People are like, oh, my allergies. But it's not the yellow part. It could be other parts within the
Exactly,
pollen.
yeah. So it's typically your birch pollen, your maple pollen, your pollen that's released from the hardwood trees that are actually responsible for the symptoms.
All right, very good. All right, let's go to number 2 here if we can. Eating local honey has been proven to help patients with allergies. True or false?
No, that is not true.
And I'm bummed. Listen, I have been sold many a time at local farms here in Georgia that if I buy their honey, it'll help with my allergies.
Honey does taste good.
It does
and I like
taste
it too.
great.
But honey is also produced from the bees using the nectar from flowers, which are not airborne pollen. And so we have allergies to airborne pollen, not pollen from flowers.
How do you think this myth came about?
I don't know how it came about.
Bunch of farmers who wanted to sell some honey.
Well, but you know what? I like to eat honey too.
I like it. I do like honey. That one fooled me here. All right, let's go to number 3 here if we can. My dad has allergies, so there is a greater chance that I will have allergies too. True or false?
That's actually true.
I see. I always blame my parents for my allergies.
Yes, that's true. So if you have one parent who suffers from allergy symptoms, that can increase your risk for developing allergies by 40%.
So it is hereditary in many sense.
For some people it is, yes. And if both of your parents suffer, that actually can increase your risk by about 60%.
All right, there you go. So if you know both your parents suffer from allergies and then you start getting those symptoms, you may want to go to a specialist to kind of figure it out early, so you might as well not suffer. All right, let's go to the next question here. If you are allergic to tree pollen, you might have trouble eating certain fresh fruits like apples. True or false?
That happens to be true.
It is true.
It is true because what happens is patients who have a really strong allergy sensitivity to certain tree pollens, particularly birch tree pollens, there are cross-reacting proteins in certain fresh fruits, such as apples, that can cause symptoms such as itching in their mouth and even itching in their throat. When you cook the fruit, you denature the protein, and the patients don't have that reaction.
That's interesting. I just learned that right now. I did not know that. I am allergic to birch trees. So you're saying that if I eat apples, that I'm basically eating the allergy that I'm allergic to?
No, not exactly. No? What happens, though, in some patients who have the allergy to the to the birch tree,
right.
When they eat certain fresh fruits, such as apples, they can get that itching in their mouth reaction. We call that oral allergy syndrome, okay, or oral pollen syndrome. And when you cook the food, you don't see the reaction. Interestingly, when we do the allergy skin testing, we see positive to birch tree, but negative to apple.
That's interesting, because my test did come back positive to birch tree. I wonder if I went deeper and did a test to apple, what it would be.
If you're not having symptoms with apples, I probably wouldn't worry about it.
I don't think many people cook apples, though.
Oh, apple pie?
Apple pie.
Come on.
Yeah, but usually when people are eating an apple, they're eating an apple at a desk. All right, we have another question here. True or false? Let's give it to us, because it's got to come up there on the screen. There it is. If you don't have allergies as a child, you will not develop them as an adult.
That's actually false. You can develop allergies at any age. And I don't know that we have a good answer as to why some people develop them as a child and others as an adult. But what we do know is that you have to be exposed at some point in your life. And then for whatever reason, you have this abnormal immune response and you get runny, you get congested, you get sneezing when you inhale that allergen. And believe it or not, some people not only have nasal allergies, those allergies actually can trigger asthma symptoms as well. So asthma is something else that can develop later on in life.
All right, very good. Doctors, thank you for being here this morning on the show. I like the true or false part. I'm still stuck on that bee pollen and the honey. It's just throwing me for a loop.